Hello everyone and welcome back. My name is Greg Furman, market analyst here at TraderPlanet.com, and these are the market positions for November the 23rd, 2010. Now our first position for tonight is going to be back in the stock market. We're going to revisit this Motorola stock. We've had a little bit of volatility, but again, these stops we've had have held in this area. We had a nice move a few weeks ago off this exact same area, guys. So what we're going to do is look at taking this exact same trade again at almost the exact same price. Now we've closed at $8.09. Our three predicted moving averages come in at 809, 808, and again the 18 at 808. So we're sitting there basically running flat with a slight upside biased. Now looking at this, at our crossovers, we can see that our short-term crossover has crossed to the upside. That was a couple of days ago. Now looking at our medium-term crossover, we can see that it's also crossed to the upside also. Now our long-term crossover and our triple EMA are sitting flat, but this time we have two of those major crossovers in the short and the medium term pointing higher in this stock. Another key factor here for me is the predicted medium and long-term differences are crossing over the zero line and are turning positive. Our predicted MACD has crossed our trigger, and our predicted true strength indicator is coming off the trigger from flat to slightly higher, ever so slightly, I might point out. So for tomorrow, we're going to be looking to get into buys on this stock pretty much right off the get-go. Now, closing at 809, that doesn't necessarily mean it's going to open at $8.09, but it's certainly possible. But we have 798 as the low and 823 as the high. So if we can pick up 23 cents or even 30 cents on this stock, on an $8 stock, on a percentage basis, that's a very good move. So for tomorrow, we're going to look at the $8 range to get in on this stock. So a very, very slight pullback, and then we're going to essentially pretty much buy right off the open, and we would like to see a move. The very first move, our first target would be back towards this $8.23 area, but again, I think we have room to move back closer to the $9 mark. So if we can actually get that, if we can pick up 9, 10, 12, 15% on this stock, that's a very good return on investment. So for tomorrow, we've got our confirmation from our predicted true strength indicator, our predicted MACD, a predicted the predicted medium and long-term differences, and of course two of our crossovers being our short and our medium term. Now that's our first position. Our second position, we're going to go into the foreign exchange market. Now looking at our second position tonight, we're going to be revisiting the US Canadian dollar pair. Now this one is a counter trend position, but again, what I want to point out is we have our crossovers, our major crossovers, our medium and long term, and our triple EMA have crossed to the upside, but we can see how the short-term predicted moving average, the 3-day predicted moving average, is starting to roll over. Now we've closed at 101.87. We're at 101.79, 101.57, and 101.42. But you can see that I have this trend line drawn right across here, and it comes into this 102.50 area. That is basically the market has not been able to get through this area. My view, as you know, is that the equities will continue to move higher. Crude oil will reverse off that $80 a barrel and will move higher. So this points to further weakness in this US Canadian pair, and it's likely going to start moving back to the downside. Now this is a counter trend position, I want to point out, but again, the 102.50, 102.60 area has contained the dollar bulls have been held back at this level for over a week now. So this tells me, and with the overall bias against the US dollar, there is some opportunity here. So 102.23 is the predicted high tomorrow. We can see that our neural index has turned negative yet again. 101.38 is the predicted low. So we're going to use an entry point of 102.23. We're going to be looking for almost 100 pips on this trade. So that's a pretty good trade. Now looking at it today, the actual range for today, we can see we hit a low of 101.22. It wouldn't surprise me if we actually get a little bit below that. Now we did close higher, but again, the equities, everything pretty much went as per the Forex weekly outlook. However, towards midday, the equities really started to take a hit and the US dollar strengthened. But by the end of the day, the equities had recovered most of their losses and the US dollar backed off again. So With that said, the US Canadian pair does have a very high correlation to the equity markets. So let's have a look at one way of gauging this trade by using the S&P 500. We can see that I also have this trend line drawn like this. The market came right down today, hit that trend line and bounced clear out of there. That's a very good sign. And again, our triple EMA cross is still holding. And the most important thing I want to point out to the equity traders here is that the 3-day predicted moving average has crossed both the 8-day and the 18-day predicted moving average, and this is a bullish signal. The only thing that could send this one reeling lower is, again, further problems out of Ireland or the Eurozone. If we have any potential problems with Portugal and Spain, that is definitely a wild card here, guys. But overall, the equities look to be in pretty good shape, and I would expect them to start gaining strength by mid to the latter part of the week. And as I stated in the Forex Weekly Outlook, I would anticipate the S&P to recapture the 1220 mark. So those are the positions for November the 23rd, 2010. And again, my name is Greg Furman, market analyst here at TraderPlanet.com.